What up, word? Is your boy Sporty Black checking in again. Shout out to everybody rocking with my told y'all coming back with more content. I guess you could say I'm a little late to the party when it comes down to speaking about this Rick Ross and Meek Mill situation. But I still want to speak on it because this is something that you see more and more in hip hop when people start falling out with their day ones about the money. You know what I mean? From the simple fact when artists when they finally finally get big, they just get in a situation where they want to move forward, they want to move on, or they want to just restructure the deal. And I think that's really what's going on in this situation with Meek Mill and Rick Ross. Meek Mill went publicly basically letting the world know he in a bad record deal. He been in a bad record deal. He really ain't making no money on it. But at the same time, Meek Mill didn't clarify the whole situation. The first deal Meek Mill had was with T.I. on Grand Hustle, and T.I. had him on the shelf. Because back then, T.I. had a lot of artists, but he wasn't really putting no money or putting no push behind none of the artists. T.I. was the person who signed Travis Scott, But anyway, so Meek Mill is in Grand Hustle, signed to T.I., and he just on the shelf. So, he met Rick Ross, and Rick Ross took a liking to him, and Rick Ross leveraged his relationship with T.I. to basically like, man, let me get Meek Mill, you really ain't doing nothing with him. So Rick Ross had to buy out the deal, basically like, pay tip to get Meek Mill. So once he got Meek Mill, he already in the hole. You know what I'm saying? Now, then on top of that, you gotta, put money into making Meek Mill a star and just promoting him and marketing him and putting a push behind. Don't get me wrong, Meek Mill had his own buzz going on in Philly and other parts of the East Coast off of the freestyles and stuff that he was doing, coming up on the underground scene. But make no mistake about it, Rick Ross, reached down when he was really popping. Rick Ross was doing his thing when he brought Meek Mill over the Maybach Music Group, MMG. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross was doing his thing. Then he basically was shining, so he let Meek Mill get some of that shine. And then eventually, Meek Mill took off, you know what I'm saying, and became the star that we know him as. And these guys, they've been rocking together for, close to a decade or so. But at the same time, Meek Mill, he got other business ventures with Rock Nation. Him and Jay-Z got a business relationship. Meek Mill, he got other rich billionaire friends that he like to hang around with and let people know that he hang around with, like Robert Kraft and some of the other people. So he around boss people sucking up game, and he want to expand and want to get richer and richer. Make no mistake about it, Meek Mill is well off. His net worth is probably like 20-25 million, But at the same time, when you be around, been in the game long enough, and then start to understand the money that you're not getting, or understand what kind of bad deal that you got. And Meek Mill deal is bad simply because he got signed prior to the streaming era. So it's like his deal is structured, from the old way of doing music, selling units at the store, CDs and stuff like that. So it's like, due to that fact alone, it would be smart to restructure the new deal. And maybe I think that's where the beef come in with Rick Ross. Maybe Meek Mill been trying to restructure that said deal. But I guess, Rick Ross, this is like a major investment. That's how Ross looking at it. Like, we got a relationship. I got mad love for you, but this is just an investment for Rick Ross. Rick Ross is a major boss, a major businessman that's got a lot of investment going from music to liquor to franchises and other, endeavors. Right? He got a lavish lifestyle he got to keep up. So he look at Meek Mill and Wale as investment, And now, so when Meek Mill put out an album, make no mistake about it, Ross getting like 70-80% of the proceeds, and then he distribute the rest. But pretty much the money that he distributed is through to the white people and some of the people that help, put the marketing behind it. Meek Mill really ain't never really seeing no money off of the album sales. Meek getting his money off of the shows and, just merch and the other thing that he got going for himself. You know what I mean? And this is one of the reasons why he got the deal with Rock Nation, because Rock Nation is tied in with Live Nation for these shows and these tours and things of that nature. So Meek, don't get it twisted. Meek making plenty of money. He just really ready to get up out that deal. Once somebody really gave him game and pulled his coattail about how bad of a deal he got, and he understand it now, and he realizes it's a bad deal, and I just think they probably need to sit down and chop it up and figure something out. And if he want to leave and get out the deal and just do his own thing with a dream chaser thing, that's cool, and still have it where Rick Ross will get some kind of percentage just off a finder's fee. Because that's a thing that really exists in the industry. You know what I mean? It just, if you discover somebody, even after y'all part ways, if you put the final fee clause in there, you still get a certain percentage of, the revenue. They kind of like a 360 deal, just a percentage off of it. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of them kind of situations. But, nevertheless, that's kind of where the beef trickled from, and it got so bad to, well, allegedly, they was at a concert in Miami early in the year. Ross tried to come over and get in this section with Meek, and Meek, let the security people know that he didn't want Ross over there in his section, and it spilled over into a little street shit or whatever. So, so now, I ain't gonna say it's big smoke, because I'm pretty sure Ross don't want to go to war with, his protege, somebody that he really introduced and brought into the game, and you got to give Ross some credit, you know what I mean? He brought Meek in the game, helped Meek out. Wale was hot, had a bad situation. Rick Ross came in and helped him out that situation, put him on and showed him how to get money. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times these artists be ungrateful for the people that put them on in the first place. Not saying this the case in Meek being ungrateful to Rick Ross, but a lot of times that what happened, people forget about when they was broke. Didn't have nothing. They were dusty. You know what I'm saying? They was in a really bad deal on the shelf and was broke because they couldn't recoup, And then somebody come in and save the day and then, put them on the platform they need to be on to be successful, then give them the game. So in Rick Ross' mind, maybe the game that he giving Meek Mill and the platform that he put Meek Mill on and the blueprint that he showed him how to become a millionaire, how to become a boss, in his mind, that's payment enough, But cause the deal and the contract is what it is. Now it would be in Meek Mill's best interest to restructure. It might not be in Rick Ross' best interest to restructure that deal. So I can't really speak on the motives behind whether or not Rick Ross is willing to restructure the deal or let Meek out the deal. Maybe Rick Ross is willing to restructure and Meek Mill don't want to restructure. Meek Mill just want to leave MMG to do his own thing. Now, when Meek Mill signed a deal with Rock Nation, the management deal, then turned around and kind of linked another deal with Rock Nation for the Dream Chaser label, his own personal label. He kind of like inked the distribution / streaming deal with Rock Nation / Tidal, and it was nothing MMG involved in that deal. I know that had to make Rick Ross feel some kind of way. If you think about it, like, I discovered you when you were dusty, you were broke, you ain't had nothing, I helped put you on, but then when you get on, you get rich, and it's time to do the new deal with your label. You choose to go with Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, and make a big post about how grateful you is to be down with Jay-Z and blah, blah, blah. So I think that probably made Rick Ross feel some kind of way. So it's a lot of different instances with their relationship where things got a little strange from the point where it was a stripper chick that Meek was smashing, and then I think Ross tried to wife the chick, so you always have that element as well. Then you had the Drake situation when Drake and Meek Mill was beefing, Rick Ross kind of played the background and was quiet and neutral in the situation, which I can understand because he don't really want to ruin his relationship with Drake, because they will collab and make a lot of good music together. But at the same time, this your artist, you got to have his back, right or wrong. That's probably how Meek Mill looking at it. So if Ross didn't have his back 100%, Meek Mill probably felt some kind of way about that. But at the same time, man, them boys have been through a lot. Then Ross, as being the boss of the situation, of the label, he had to basically play devil advocate when it came down to Meek Mill and Wale. These are his two main breadwinners on his label, and for a long time they was beefing with each other. You see what I'm saying? So he had to balance that out as well as keep the money flowing and keep this shit popping. So it's a lot, and it's been a lot. But a lot of times people outgrow each other. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people just want to move on to the next chapter. So I think that's really where they done came and where they at with this situation. Meek just ready to move on to the next play. And, so it just comes down to they gonna have to sit down and come up with something that makes sense both ways. Because I don't think Rick Ross just gonna let him out the deal. Rick Ross made a lifetime investment when he signed Meek Mills, and that's how he looking at it. He ain't looking at it as you basically, you can't get out this contract. You know what I'm saying? This is a lifetime contract. So y'all tell me what y'all think about the whole situation. Should Ross let Meek out the deal? Should Meek be a little more grateful? Is Ross, a bad CEO? Because you got to remember, Rick Ross, the same guy that was all in Birdman and Lil Wayne business when he was saying idols become rivals a couple years ago, when he was saying Birdman wasn't paying Wayne. But now look at him. You see what I'm saying? But Birdman and Wayne, they work their differences out, and Wayne still cash money to this day. Birdman broke bread with him, so is Rick Ross gonna do the same for Meek Mill? Is he gonna cut the check? But if you look at the net worth, it say Ross worth about 40, 45 million. Meek worth about 20, 25 million. That's a big difference. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not a big difference. It's 20 million. So how much do Meek Mill feel like Rick Ross? Oh, I know Rick Ross ain't finna just give him a big lump sum and now this dude gonna be worth more than me. I just can't see that. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button. I'm Spoiled Black. I'm signing off. I'm gone.